One of the reasons you're here is because one of our guests on the show, his name is Ido Portal. He's a movement specialist from Israel. I think his mother is a fan of yours. And I had a long conversation walking through London with him. And at the very end, I said, do you have anything else you want to say? And he said, today is a good day to die, is what he said. And he said, I try to meditate on my death every day, and I know that today is a good day to die. Now, I'm sure it's not that simple, and I know you're not into the tips and techniques of how to get a better relationship with death. Actually, I'm saying that wrong, of death. But is that a glimpse of how it starts?
Okay. A more troubling answer than the question was troubling. Here it comes. There's a few books out there that are real how-to books. There's a real famous one. I'm not going to mention the name of it or its writer, but he's not an English guy, and a lot of English people down that book, okay? It's basically a death Bible. He's still alive, so that helps you narrow it down. If you look at his examples that he crafts in this book, and he's advocating for a certain vision of death, and the thing that they all have in common, his success stories inside the book, as I remember without exception, characterized that good dying as barely noticeable. Yeah, barely noticeable.
You don't buy that for a second.
Dude, what? That's what you're holding people to? Well, I mean, he's a Buddhist practitioner, so I don't know what kind of predisposition they bring to dying. It's not entirely true, but I'll say that. But obviously, it's another kind of victory story, you know? But in this case, it's not as troubling as people who are not good practitioners of this understanding. But wait, where is it written that the best dying is the one you don't notice? Why is that the gold standard? Why should dying not break your heart? Because it does mine, yeah? When I'm sitting in this chair, one of the things I get asked all the time, you saw a lot of death. Yes, I did. So somewhere in there you must have seen your own death. Yes, indeed, it's an occupational hazard or a benefit, you decide. So then, here's the next question. So you must be good with it then, because you've seen it. And you know what I say then? Get behind me, Satan. That's what I say then. Not sometimes, not explicitly, but the notion is this. Why do you think that a direct encounter with the guarantee of one's own demise confers upon one a kind of mysterious sense of well-being that's absolutely unavailable to you when things are working out nicely? What kind of math is this, you see? So I have no obligation to be okay about my dying. Do you know, here's what it did to me. My life, my ability to be alive, became habit forming. That's what happened. I looked around and I became almost involuntarily grateful. I knew myself to be lucky because I'd lived long enough that the news of my death prompted a longing to be alive. Now the mystery is, but I was alive. So why would I long after it? Am I longing after more life? Well, yeah, of course, to a certain degree, yeah. But I'm longing to be alive at the same time that I'm in the presence of the life that I'm longing for. Then you realize, it's not a future tense to long after being alive. It's a present tense thing. That's life affirming. Getting more of it doesn't make it truer. Getting a longer life in which to long after it doesn't do anything to the quality. It might make you a little better at it with more practice, I don't know. But when I glimpsed the end of what I claimed to love, being alive, that was the beginning of my capacity to love it. Now that's as about as counterintuitive as you can get, you know. That when I saw the end, I was granted the capacity to fully inhabit and locate myself in being alive. And from that moment on, I was deeply enamored of the thing. So no, I'm not okay, but I'm not going to roll over. I'll die wishing I wasn't. Of this I'm fairly certain. until it becomes unbearable. And then, like most people, I'll probably, there's only one thing worse than not dying, than dying, and that's not dying when it's pretty much its time. Yeah, that much I've seen, sure. But I have no obligation to be blithe about it or turn it into another gauzy spectacle. It breaks my heart to think about it now, to say these things to you now, having brought children into the world and grandchildren lingering, and these extraordinary opportunities to wonder about these things with people I don't know. These are all enormous gifts, and they're predicated on the fact that we're not going to last. We get to do this now, and younger people are watching what we're doing with the remnant of the allotment that's entrusted to us. They really are. They don't know that they are, but they are. And they're taking their cues from how we are. And if we come to these endings belligerent and hostile and sort of grievance-driven, what's the message they draw down from this that informs their middle age? And the answer is it's a sucker's game, right? And it's only being youthful and capable that's worthwhile. And the rest of it is a dismal demise.